Rise with India podcast on ET Now.
Good morning and thanks for listening in. This is the daily morning update from ET Now and I'm Alex Matthew. Today is the 6th of July. Here's everything that you need to know. The big story this morning and probably the week is oil. After several days of tense talks, the OPEC Plus bloc of nations abandoned their meeting yesterday. A disagreement over how to measure production cuts brought an end to a tentative deal to boost output. What followed was an unusually public and personal spat between Saudi Arabia and the UAE. The immediate consequences of the collapse in talks is that the output hike expected for August won't take place, leaving the market short of barrels just as the economy globally recovers from the COVID-19 pandemic. In response, Brent crude jumped above $77 to the barrel in London for the first time in more than 2 years. It continues to stay above that mark this morning. In other news, the centre told the Delhi High Court yesterday that social media giant Twitter has failed to comply with Indian IT rules, which is the law of the land and is mandatorily required to be complied with. The centre, in an affidavit filed in the High Court, said that any non-compliance amounts to breach of provisions of IT rules, leading to Twitter losing its immunity conferred under the IT Act. In news from the primary market here in India, Paytm's initial public offering will probably be worth around 16,600 crore rupees, and the Noida-based fintech firm is likely to file its DRHP with the Securities and Exchange Board of India soon after its extraordinary general meeting on the 12th of July. Paytm may also seek shareholders' approval to increase the size of the IPO to nearly 19,318 crore rupees, closer to the date of its proposed listing. Speaking of initial public offerings, the IPO of online food delivery and restaurant discovery platform Zomato is expected to open for subscription on the 19th of July at a price band of 70 to 72 rupees per share, according to a report by the Economic Times. The offer size will likely be as much as 9,375 crore rupees at this price. InfoEdge, by the way, told stock exchanges on Sunday that it would reduce the offer for sale in the Zomato IPO from 750 crore rupees targeted earlier by about half. Moving on, India's primary steel makers have reduced prices on the benchmark hot rolled coil by up to 3% for July. Prices have been reduced by 1,500 to 2,000 rupees a ton for the month of July, which is traditionally a month in which demand is tepid due to a reduction in construction activity. In an important update for airlines, the government on Monday allowed them to increase the number of domestic flights allowed from 50% of pre-COVID levels to 65%. This would mean that more flights can fly, but airlines continue to battle low utilization of capacity, also known as load factor, an issue that has plagued them through the pandemic. The government on Monday extended the deadline for public comments on proposed amendments to the rules that govern e-commerce till August 5th. The earlier deadline was set to expire today. And with that, it's over to Rohit Singh for the trade setup for the day in India. Morning, Rohit. How are we looking today?
Good morning, Alex. We have managed to extend the rebound that we saw on Friday. This has come even as latest PMI numbers have not been encouraging. We are now just shy of the 15,900 level, beyond which there is a bullish setup according to some chartists. Banks, metals and real estate have powered this rally yesterday. On the options front, 16,000 call is still seeing the most amount of open interest getting added. The measure of volatility remains at one of the lowest levels in the recent past, hinting at quiet consolidation. Domestic investors continue to support the bulls with a buy figure of 650 crore rupees, offsetting the FISL worth 340 crore rupees. The OPEC Plus meeting has failed to resolve the deadlock over oil production. Saudi Arabia and UAE are still not in agreement over the production cuts being proposed. The meeting has now been called off and no future date has been set for talks. Oil prices inched up to fresh multi-year highs beyond $76. World markets were mixed overnight with Wall Street shut for the July 4th holiday. US futures are hinting at a muted open Tuesday. Let's tell you about the active stocks this morning. The NMDC OFS opens today with a floor price of 165 rupees for a 4% stake on offer. HDFC Bank has shared operational data that points to loan growth moderation and contraction in retail loans during the second COVID wave. Info Edge has emerged as a major contender for inclusion in the Nifty in the upcoming review in September, according to ICICI Direct. Top steelmakers have reduced prices of hot rolled coil by up to 3% for July. This is a sluggish month and companies have cut prices to rev up domestic demand. According to reports, Reliance Industries is close to buying a substantial stake in Portico, a home fashion brand. Tata Motors has said that it plans to increase prices of its passenger vehicles due to increase in input costs. Government has allowed airlines to marginally increase the number of domestic flights from 50% of pre-COVID levels to 65%. In a major development that concerns all investors, the regulator has proposed stiff penalty on stock exchanges and officials for technical glitches that cause financial losses. To recap, this upbeat sentiment ahead of TCS numbers is very encouraging, but there is a big raft of public issues lined up this month, and we need to see how the IPO action will sway fund flow into stock markets. That's it from my end. Wish you a profitable day ahead. Thank you, and it's back to you, Alex.
Thanks, Rohit. And thank you all for listening in. Don't forget to hit like and to subscribe to our social media channels for a lot more content. Have a great day.
The Rise with India podcast on ET Now.